Welcome to another stream where people ask me what time is it in Romania and why am I streaming at this hour. And the reality is that I've just managed to fix my sleeping schedule again. I go to bed at 9 p.m. and I wake up at 5 a.m. And guess what? Tomorrow we got Dungeons and Dragons. I have to stay up till 2 a.m. again. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. The life of a streamer, the adventures are never ending. And then the main issue is that people will start asking. It's like, well, V, why are you awake at this hour? It's like, I don't know, man. You tried having like New Year's celebrations every single week, which is either playing Dungeons and Dragons or having to go on other talk shows where you stay up until 2 a.m. It's difficult. But it's fun. I'll say that. I'm not going to complain too much because it is fun. I want to appreciate SRC for the $20 donation before I even managed to join. Literally the first, yes. Epstein didn't kill himself. Well, the thing is, the left doesn't believe so either. Like it was so interesting to see left-leaning journalists. And the reason was like left-leaning journalists will say, well, he had information on Trump, while the right-wingers were like he had information on the Clintons. So both parties had an interest in hearing what Epstein has to say. Unfortunately, no one is going to hear him now. Thank you for the $2 donation, Mr. Pedro. I appreciate it. All right, so we got several topics that we want to talk about today. I'll probably talk about the singing gentleman a little bit later because that's when more people join. But I just want you guys to get some homework, right? Like do this when I'm not here. Try looking at videos that came up during the pandemic, and to see the madness, to see how hysterical people were. It is so unfathomable that we actually lived through those times. I mean, how many years has it been? It's been like 2 years now, right? Since Putin invaded Ukraine, because that's when the pandemic was over. I think like that is what cured COVID. Unfortunately, like COVID lived and died with the television set. Like literally one day from another. The moment that the Ukrainians got invaded, the next moment that the media shifted attention, everyone just stopped with the talking points. Everyone was like friendly to each other again. I remember the malice chat. Like I literally remember the hatred that citizens managed to have towards one another, and all it took was the mainstream media. Well, thank you, CRC, for the well, not CRC. It shows like the super chat shows as CRC. But thank you, Zanetsu, for the 5,000 CRC. I do not know if they're valuable or not, but I do appreciate it regardless. And also, Buddy, for calling you a mean name. Well, is that what my reputation is worth? Two Californian dollars? I appreciate it. But yes, the thing was with Black Lives Matter as well. Like the moment the Black Lives Matter protest started, no one talked about COVID. Like it was stay home, stay safe, go out and protest. And then it was like go out and protest while not going out to your business. So I remember like what was the name of that YouTuber? The puppet guy. He had the fallout with Internet Aristocrat. I forgot his name. But basically, he was basically saying how if he goes to a BLM protest, that's fine. But if he goes to his relatives to see his nephew that was just born last week, he gets a fine. So like the only solution that he would have would be to bring the newborn to a BLM protest, and he could see it there. That's how ridiculous it was. Like honestly, when I'm thinking back, it is difficult to believe that we actually lived through that time period. Like it's astonishing. Slime Osama, are you in the chat? I think he's in the chat. I made a Japanese acquaintance. He got banned from Twitter. This is the curse that I carry. Every single person that associates with me gets banned from Twitter. I haven't got banned from Twitter yet. I mean, there's still time. But I haven't got banned from Twitter. All my friends get banned from Twitter. I'm starting to notice a pattern. Just probably, if I was an FBI agent, I would have like the whiteboard with pictures of my friends and with connections with lines. It's so fucking bizarre. I don't get it. It's like, why are the people associated with me getting banned from Twitter? Dr. Radimer Cam, yes, that the puppet man, yeah. But he articulated a just point. Like in the UK, you couldn't go to see your family members. You couldn't go to your business But you could go to a BLM protest. In fact, you were encouraged to. It was a civic responsibility. You don't know me? You like having a Twitter account? I see how it is. Okay, fine. Abandon me in my darkest hour. The test run was very successful. I would say, yeah, like that's what scares me. It's that I'm pretty sure like social scientists have recorded all of the ways that people have reacted. And you know, it is difficult to control an individual. Like, I'm not going to lie. To control one person, it is difficult. But to control the masses, it is so fucking easy, chat. Like it is so phenomenally easy. Like, when human beings get together and they form a mob, or they form a group, they become very predictable. Like, individuals are unpredictable. If I try to control American Outlier, I don't know how to do it. But if I was to control many American Outliers put together, that's easy. Hello, V. Good morning to you. Don't forget the mask and vaccine crazies. I would forget my mom and aunt losing their shit because I didn't get the shot or use the mask. Yeah, like I had that in my family as well. But I remember the people that would mask up in their fucking car. Like that's how ridiculous things got. And you know, like, not all people that masked up in their car were bad people, or like I do know a couple of individuals that said, well, when I get out of my car, I go into the store, and in the store I have to mask up. So it's a lot easier for me to just keep the mask on. And don't forget, because like this was in the beginning, right? Like if they caught you without a mask, you'd get a fine. So they were like, okay, well, I want to avoid getting a fine, so I'm keeping the mask on while I'm on my car. But there were other individuals that literally thought that the virus is in their car with them and holding a mask. Oh my God, I remember like the BBC article. That was the most dumb thing ever. They were saying that you should keep a mask while having sex. And I'm like, dude, I don't know about your cock, but my cock is pretty significant. And if I try to have sex with a lady, like, she's going to gasp and moan. If she has a mask on, I would worry about her health. Like, she would not get enough oxygen during the whole situation, right? But it is what it is. Like that's apparently what the BBC said, or was it the Guardian? I forgot which. I think it was the BBC. Yeah, they were basically like, you should keep a mask while, and the thing is, like, it's not even scientific, because if you go into someone's house, right, and you're talking about flugel drops, which is how the virus exists. It's like little droplets in the atmosphere. Okay, if you're going inside a person's house, there's droplets everywhere in the air, right? Because the person lives there. Unless they, like, even if they open the window, the ventilation is not professional enough in order to make sure that the air is sanitized. So when you go to your girlfriend's house, if she's sick, you're going to get it. Like, it doesn't matter if you put on 7 masks. Like, you're in a small, confined space with your girlfriend who lives there. Like, she's there 24/7 because she's under lockdown, right? So like, most of these things were like bizarre, and the media would publish them, and sell them off as le science, the scientismus. It's like, okay, they meant GIMP. Well, that's a fetish, but no, they were talking like every single sexual thing, and I love it when they were talking about like COVID and farts. Like, that was another thing. It's like, oh, can farts give you COVID? I mean, you know, when you're at that level of inquisitiveness, 7 masks is to protect your virginity. I do think so, yes. To be honest, like I do miss the masking up thing, because seeing all the women with masks, seeing all the Melinas and Kitanas on the street was actually hot. Especially when you look at some American women, because like I know how American women look like, and I gotta say, you know, we all have our preferences. We're born this way. And I personally wasn't very impressed. I mean, compared to Eastern European women. But when I saw videos of them masked up, I was like, oh, now that's a little bit interesting. That's a mushy right. The funny fact is that while everyone was masked up, people on the news weren't. The politicians would mask up. Like, that's fascinating, right? So like, you'd have like 2 news anchors in a studio, and they wouldn't have masks. But then when you had like a politician in the studio, he would have a mask. And I was like, wow. The best thing ever, like the one that should have ended the charade, but unfortunately it didn't, was during the Metropolitan Gala. Like the Metropolitan Gala was the highlight of I think it was like 2020 or 2021. But basically, you had like all the actors and the important people, the guests. You know, they would come there dressed as if it's the Hunger Games and they're at the Capitol. And they had like these very bizarre clothing and these things that you wouldn't wear in public under any circumstance. And none of them had masks. Like, none of the actors and the actresses and the important people had masks. Because, like, how would you hide your face? I mean, they're celebrities. They, you know, their faces, their everything. But literally every single person around them, like every single helper, every single aide, every single pleb had masks. And Tucker Carlson even started saying it's the mask of obedience. Because it was right. Like, that's how you should be able to describe it. Mask at the water park is waterboarding. They did it. I remember seeing videos of that. Yes, I remember seeing videos with people that had masks and jumped in the water, and then they experienced a little bit of discomfort. And I was like, that's a torture technique. Well, actually, the Americans don't call it a torture technique. They call it enhanced interrogation. Yes. They were probably enhanced interrogating themselves on why are they so stupid. I mean, by God, like, there were so many videos that came out during that time. You had, like, people that would play at a band, and they had masks, but they cut, like, a little bit of, they cut the mask in the middle so that they could put the flute in their mouth. That was, do you guys remember that shit? I saw masks at the beach. Yeah, no, dude, like, the mask was the symbol of status, basically. My favorite part was, like, the chin diaper. Like, South Park made it. And it was funny, you know, you'd go into a supermarket and you would wear the mask, like, just on the chin. And you would see another guy and they see you, and it instantly, like, a connection. It was like in high school when you're wearing a t-shirt with a rock band. You know, that's very fringe and most people don't know what heavy metal is. But you'd go to a supermarket and you'd see another guy with also a heavy metal t-shirt. Right? Instant connection. Like, you knew you'd be friends with that guy. You couldn't speak with them because, like, you were strangers and you were in public. But you had the feeling that if you were face to face with that person and you talk, like, the things you would say to each other would make you best buds. Yeah, the thing with masks alone in their cars, like, again, like, I heard an explanation for it, and it was a good explanation. Like, the person just said, look, if I get caught without a mask, I'm getting fined. So, I have several places to go. I don't want to forget putting it back up. So, I'm just having it on, and I'm leaving it on so that, you know, I just don't get caught without it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Oh, welcome to the chat, Frederick Marks. We had the smoker max exemption. If you are smoking, no mask needed. There were, like, so many stupid exemptions like that. I remember in Australia, like, there was this guy that was drinking coffee. Like, he was sitting in the middle of fucking nowhere, and the police officer comes to him in order to see if he has coffee in the cup. He literally takes the coffee cup and shakes it to see if there's any liquid. And I'm thinking, like, are we at that level? Like, have we reached that fucking... And the answer is yes. That level was reached. Please tell me you saw the woman picking up her dog's crap with her mask and then putting it back on. I did not see that, and you know what, American Outlier? I'm glad I didn't see it. I am happy that I did not see it. If you send it to me, I will not watch it. There is no fucking reason that I would want to watch something like that. To be honest, like, the thing that I hated about the mask so fucking much, and most people don't understand, it's like, well, it's just a mask. Why do you hate it? Have you tried wearing a mask when having glasses, asshole? No, seriously, like try putting a pair of glasses and then wear a mask and see what happens. They immediately, like, your glasses become blurry because all of the evil carbon that's killing the planet, which are expiring, it goes all the way up. So your glasses become foggy. And it was so fucking annoying. And I know, like, there were ways around it, but it's like, why though? Put a hole in your protective mask to let in the carcinogens. My favorite part about all of this is that you can see how little shit they give about the planet. Like COVID just highlighted how little they fucking care. I mean, okay, you got McDonald's. Well, not McDonald's. You had the legislator, okay, in California. And they're saying, actually, what we want is for people to stop using plastic straws, okay? Because plastic straws are harmful for the environment. So instead, everyone has to use paper straw, right? And honestly, like, paper straw is just not that fucking good. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm pretentious, or maybe, but the drink doesn't taste the same. Am I crazy? Like when I drink with the with the paper straw, it's not like that much of a difference, but it's just like not the same, you know? It's like I prefer plastic straw if I have the choice. But anyway, like California now goes like, no, like you need paper straws. And then it's like, you need to mask up, you need and when you're looking at the masks, what do they have in them? Microplastics. Like there was no way, like all the plastic straws in the world probably do not have as much plastic as all the masks did from COVID. Look, American Outlier wears glasses. Okay, put on a COVID mask and see what happens. Paper straws and paper straws fall apart. There's like not just like the paper bags and the paper straw. Everything made out of paper is bad. Unless it's there to write. I remember when Kevin Smith was asked about them and said Batman wears a mask. Well, Batman's a fucking criminal. Unironically, Batman's a criminal. Why are you giving me criminals as examples? It's like Batman wears a mask. Holy fucking shit. You know who doesn't wear a mask, though? Chris Cuomo. I saw him on CNN. He doesn't wear a mask. I want to be like Chris Cuomo. Shut the fuck up. And the censorship, chat. Oh my fucking god, the censorship was unreal. Even today, people are afraid to talk about that shit. Like, even today, I see YouTubers that are afraid to breach the subject. I think, like, YouTube removed the restrictions. But, like, you had doctors that were talking about, like, medical facts and studies. And, you know what, once the Twitter files got exposed, it shows that the censorship wasn't about, like, the science. The censorship was obviously what everyone was thinking. It was about the government measures. So, like, if you contradicted the government, that was the problem. Fauci for Guantanamo. Man, Fauci for president. That's what I would want. I don't understand, like, how the same person that created the HIV scare managed to be in charge of talking with the public in 2020. Isn't it interesting? Like, anyone that studied a little bit of history, like, all you gotta do is to look at what Fauci said regarding HIV. I guess, like, history rhymes. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. The biggest thing that I love about paper straws, you know, that now that we're on the subject, is the paper straw comes wrapped up in plastic. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Hold on. Paper straw, plastic. I'll show you in a bit. Because it kind of makes sense, right? Like this is what I have to say about environmentalism, right? Like, if there was a picture worth 1,000 words, chat, if you want to show someone, it's like, why aren't you an environmentalist? This is my answer. This is my fucking answer, chat. Like I don't need to say anything else. Just show this one picture, right? Everyone is forced to drink with the paper straw to protect the environment because plastic evil. Look what it's wrapped in. Look what it's fucking wrapped in. Nothing makes sense. None of this makes any ideological sense, does it? Oh, God. And that, like, I realized it when I went to buy some of these straws, because I had a Christmas party, and I had my in-laws coming over, and I'm like, okay, well, let me buy some straws, and that's how they came into. I couldn't find plastic straws, by the way. Like, you just can't find them. I'm pretty sure that it must be a EU regulation. Oh my god, some people didn't get it. Okay, I'll explain it, because there's people in the chat who didn't understand what the problem is. Right. There are legislations in California, in the European Union, that go against plastic straws. Like, you're not allowed to sell plastic straws. And the idea is because plastic is harmful to the environment, right? Like it's killing Mother Gaia. So what they do instead is they give you paper straws. But paper straws, in my opinion, aren't as good. But whatever, right? Like you now have to use paper straws in order not to have plastic, because the plastic is dangerous to the environment. So you have the paper straw, and look what it's wrapped up in, chat. What the fuck is this called? What is this? What? Like, and this is considered environmental friendly, right? So if you have the plastic straw, that's not environmental friendly, but this is. Fuck off. I know, unironically, fuck off. This is like, hold on, let me show you what I would say this is like. Let me see if I find that meme. Ah, here we go. Right? I think like this is not just a meme, but it was someone that tried to make a point. But this is how electric cars look like. Right? Because like, where do you get your electricity from? Where do you get it from? Oh, from a coal power plant. Oh, you're getting it from like, okay, right. So basically, this is how it looks like when you shorted the thing. Right? Like you're charging it from the thing that's polluting. But it's an electric car, right? So you're saving the environment. You're saving the planet while driving the fucking electric car. And this was done, I think, in order to prove a point. Because I don't know if this one is Photoshop. But I know like there is one that's real. Like it actually drove around the city in order to shock people. The whole thing is like it passes legislation. Like, you're not allowed to have gas-powered cars without paying some sort of fine, right? Like an added tax, not a fine, sorry. Like, you have to pay an added tax if it's an old car. So then they're driving it like this. And it's like, well, it passes legislation. It's fine. No, that one is a meme. Like, that photo is Photoshop, but there was one guy that actually did it. Like, he actually went in town with this system. In order to drive a point, in order to like hammer the point through that it is stupid. It is fucking stupid. And when people see it, they laugh because they realize, oh wait, like yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. For most people, they believe that electricity is coming from the walls. Like it's this magical current, this magical energy which we have in our houses, and it comes from the electric socket. But more than that, it's mystery. It's unironically, it's like the dark age of the Imperium. Like you don't know how the technology is made, you just know how to use it. I ruined turtle nests at the beach to spite the greens. Oh, come on, no, that's mean. I wouldn't do it like that. There's other ways to spite the greens without. Let me show you the best ways to spite the greens. Hold on. Like I showed this on the stream before, but I think enough time has passed that most people forgot it. So the Young Turks, what did they call it? The Young Turks... Ah. This was in 9 years ago.
Anti-environmentalists are finding very creative ways to fight back.
This is back when the Young Turks was funny. Like, unironically, this is when they were making good segments. Because they didn't take themselves that seriously, and they weren't that morally preachy. Like even this was morally preachy, but they were doing it in a fun way.
Against those crazy people in the EPA that want to protect our environment. And one of the ways they're doing it...
The reason it's funny is because Anna Kasparian now hates those same people. Like, she's like, okay, so they're not allowing me to have a gas stove, but they're not giving me money in order to change from a gas stove to an electric vehicle. Sorry, to an electric stove. And we don't have like the power grid, blah blah blah. Like Anna is really high on anti-environmentalism now, so it's funny to see like how she progressed over the last 9 years.
It is by performing something known as rolling coal. If you want to know what that is, all you have to do is watch the next video.
Do you smoke? You do? Well, enjoy.
Jesus. Oof. American Outlier, is this you? Do you behave like this? I hope not.
All right, so
Even she's laughing. Like, even, right? Because, like, that's the difference between the actors back then and now. Like then, they were laughing. Even though they weren't agreeing with it, they were laughing. Now, they would have, like, a stern face. The disapproval of the matriarch. Probably not Anna, though, because now she's a little bit less with the Green New Deal, but...
coal rollers can spend thousands of dollars altering their rides, in this case their diesel trucks, to produce even greater amounts of smoke. So basically it's a big FU to any environmentalist who's worried about exhaust or carbon emissions.
Yes! Yes! Why wasn't there more?
And all of that. When there's so much fuel that it fails to combust properly, it leaves the engine as soot. One unnamed Wisconsin smokestack pit seller says, if he's into the environment, if he's into this or that, we're not. To get a single stack on my truck, that's my way of giving them the finger. You want clean air and a tiny carbon footprint? Well, screw you.
That is, chat. That is an interesting way of thinking. I'm sorry we didn't have more people on our side like that. Then the taxes would have been lower. So anyway, right. Crazy Greta. Have you seen the people that bought testicles on the back of the trucks? No. Hold on. Let me keep watching. Right.
So they're both broadly saying this about people who care about the environment and want to protect their children or something like that. Or the
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, want to protect the children. If you look at modern environmentalism, they don't. Like, they ironically don't. They think like children is more carbon. Like, it's another carbon footprint. So having less kids is what they advocate for. Which begs the question, like, what are they protecting the planet for?
Bigger than the planet, you idiots. Okay, plus, specifically to Obama, that quote was saying, if he wants to save the environment, then I'm for destroying the environment.
Good for him.
Yeah, but it's like a democracy, isn't it? Right? Like, you don't get to decide what is saving the planet and whatnot. Like, if some people don't want it, that's fine in a free country. Unless you live in a fascist state. In a fascist state, no. Like, the leader decides what is the correct way of thinking, and everyone has to think like that. If you don't think like that, then you get punished. Right? Now, again, I'm not saying that one system is better than another, Czech. You get to decide. I mean, there are such systems which I'm pretty sure you would defend. I mean, Turkey is becoming a little bit more like that. It's not really all the way. Like, we can't compare Turkey to Qatar yet. But like in Qatar, yeah, like if the rulers of Qatar decide that this is the way everyone needs to think, then you better think that way. Otherwise, you get punished. Right? Is that the way that a modern democracy does things? Like in a modern democracy, people associate based on their beliefs, and they usually contradict each other, and we consider that to be a good thing because it's a diversity of ideas, right? If you think that defending the planet is the great thing, you have to convince people. Like, you have to reach these individuals that are burning coal, and you have to tell them that, well, actually, you know, the environment is dying, and you should stop burning coal. If you can't convince them, then that's their problem. Anyway.
Him.
Okay,
Good for
wait
him.
a minute. If
Yeah.
President Obama doesn't want nuclear weapons to go off in my town, then I want nuclear weapons to go off in my town.
A little bit of a hyperbole, isn't it? There's just a little bit of a hyperbole. Because the thing is, like, they're not upset because President Obama doesn't want coal. They're upset because of the taxes and the regulations. Which Anna is upset about today. Right? So...
Unbelievably stupid. I mean, this is as big...
I mean, yeah. It's almost like if you went back in time, I guarantee to you, if you went back in time and you will tell them, if this thing goes on, they're going to take your gas stove away. They'll be like, oh my god, slippery soap! Oh, the soap, so slippery! Logical inconsistency! You right-wingers, conspiracy theories! Slippery soap! Oh, the soap is slipping! Was the soap so slippery? Was it though? Was it? I don't know. I mean, did it look slippery?
Proudest celebration of stupidity as I have ever seen.
It's amazing. And what's also incredible...
Again, like, knowing what we know today, right? It's not just the environmentalist measures that were placed today, but the ones that are coming down the pipeline. Like the idea of having CBDC to regulate how much carbon people spend. Like, that's in the talks now, officially. There's politicians talking about that shit, right? So looking back then, and seeing why people were resisting for the stuff that we're having today. Is it really that stupid, though? Is it really that ridiculous? You know, like, they were like, oh, well, freedom. It's like, okay, but look at it, what's happening now. Like, you want the you want the country to be ran like China, which every transaction happens to go online. Like, this is what a lot of politicians and high rankings from the EU want. Like, you want every transaction to be digital. And at the same time, you get to see people like Nigel Farage getting debanked. Right? So like, is that not a little bit concerning? Yesterday, I saw, like, the banks saying that if farmers do not lower their carbon emissions, they're going to have higher interest loans. And what a nice way to start a famine, isn't it? I mean, you get to see these things, and if you were to tell them 9 years ago when this show was made, they would consider you a crazy conspiracy theorist, they would consider you insane, they would make fun of you, because they're more educated, they're more enlightened, they're more smart, right? And again, like Anna, I'm pretty sure if I take her offline and I just have a conversation with her, she agrees with me. Because I've seen how she behaved in a couple of recent segments. Whenever the Green New Deal comes up, like, she's not in favor because it costs her money and it lowers her standard of living.
About this is not only are they harming the environment, they're harming their own health, because that exhaust could lead to lung cancer.
Yeah, again, people smoke. Like this culture of safetyism. You know, like, when do you think people do mountain climbing? Like, is it not something that can harm your health? I mean, you can fall. Like, there's literally no advantage. Like, unironically, there is no advantage of being on top of a mountain. None whatsoever. You go on top of the mountain and then you go down. Like, but yet people fucking do it. Why do they do it? And they risk their lives in order to do it. Because people do not live for the culture of safetyism. You want safetyism? Go in a fucking prison. Maximum security. You got maximum safety. It's just you, four walls. You get fed. You get you get treated if you get sick. You get free clothing. You get free everything. You just don't have liberty. And that is maximum safetyism. And yet people don't want it. I wonder why.
And so, by the way, doing it to Prius drivers and doing it to people that are riding their bikes peacefully on the side of the road, you're really freaking classy. Good for you. But also, if you're...
Yeah, but they're doing it to be an asshole, Anna. Like, by the way, I'm not saying that what they're doing is funny. Sorry, no, it is funny. I'm not saying that what they are doing is righteous, right? Or it's right. Like, if you do this to a biker. No, it's being an asshole. And they are being an asshole, which is like a highlight of the internet of that time. Like, being an asshole was fine. But the way you're making it political, like, if you want to talk about the political aspects, then sure, let's talk about the political aspects. Hello, Super Awesome. Coexist sticker Prius produce more soy than Brazil. No need to ban plastic straws if the sea turtle is extinct. I never thought about that. But I don't think, like, the plastic straw is to protect the sea turtle. I think, like, they will have, like, a more complex reason on why it's a good thing. It is not like, here's the thing, right? These people are doing something similar to what the environmentalists were doing, like blocking roads and blocking airports and blocking shit, right? Like, I wouldn't want to be on the street and some asshole to blow the smoke in my face. So I understand, like, what Anna is saying. Like, yeah, it's not nice. But we're not talking about, like, do we condemn John? Everyone condemns John. John probably condemns himself. He knows that what he did is wrong. We're talking from a political standpoint. Like you're shocked that people are trying to resist the new paradigm. And the new paradigm lowers people's standard of living. And you're wondering, like, well, why is people upset that their standard of living is lowered? Well, gee, I don't know. Like, maybe because they watch at the people who go to COP20 and they have private yachts and private jets and they want to maintain their lifestyle while everyone else has to lower theirs. So maybe that's why people are upset.
Driving that diesel truck that you've modified to destroy the environment, you're probably inhaling that exhaust as well, and you could get lung cancer. So good job, smartass.
So they call some of these the Prius repellent, and one of the ideas is to go and blow the smokestack on top of the Prius. It's, I got you. You care, we don't. You want to save people, we want to kill people. Yeah. But think about the other stupidity involved here. Number one, when you blow that smoke, first of all, not on Priuses, but on bikers and people, as you saw there, What did they do? Like, oh, you're trying to stay healthy by biking. Haha, we're going to show you.
Again, I do understand that, but take into account that the reason people behave like this is because the environmentalists just behave like this as well. Right? So it's literally like fight fire with fire. How do you like a taste of your own medicine? That's how. When you have environmentalists blocking roads, when they're blocking traffic, when they're going out of their way to throw oil over a painting. Now, they didn't do that back then 9 years ago, but they were doing similar shit, which the Young Turks isn't covering, right? Because they would never cover like the other side to see how cringe the other people were. And they would also inconvenience you. And unironically, like, I would rather have smoke being thrown in my face than have to wait like 2 or 3 hours for some chuckleheads to clear the roads. So this is why people were doing it. It's like they were fed up with the activists. The thing is, like, I understand when you want to do activism by making your problem someone else's problem. And it works. Like, for instance, like, what is my problem? Well, environmentalism is lowering my standard of living. Okay, how do I get Anna Kasparian to care? Well, when her standard of living is going to be lowered, then she's going to start to care. Which, right? But when you block the roads for people, you're not making environmentalism their problem. You are becoming their problem. Right? You're not protesting the big governments. You're not protesting the corporations. You're protesting the public. You're preventing the average citizen, which may even sympathize with you, may even be aware of your issue, but you're preventing them from going to their job. You're preventing them from going to see their loved ones or or a hospital or whatever. And when you're doing that, you become the problem. So now people feel spiteful. And they're like, okay, well, if you're going to behave like that, we're going to behave like this as well. Let's see how you like it. And the moment you do it, like, let's see how you like it, they're like feigning concern. And it's like, oh, why are you behaving like this? Oh, why are you stooping down to their level? Ugh. Well, go lecture them. Go lecture them. And when they stop, I'm pretty sure, like, other people will stop.
What assholes we are by then blowing all this smoke at you. What does that have to do with hating Obama or the environment? You're just
ignorant.
being a dick. That's all you're doing, okay? I've seen it where they blow the smoke on...
Again, when environmentalists block a road, do they just block it for the people who are not environmentalists? Like, ironically, if Greta Thunberg, with her car, goes traveling through Europe, and she's getting stopped by environmentalists, if they don't know that Greta Thunberg is in the car, do they not, like, go against her as well? Like, do they not make her wait with everyone else, even though, like, she is part of the movement and stuff? Right? Like this is how the activists behave on both sides. And the reason the Young Turks make such a bad job is that they only talk about one side of the issue. Like, they will only present one side and try to pretend that the other side has morals and values and, you know, like, they're decent people, they vote for Obama. But they never talk about their activists and what they do.
Women watch.
I mean, hell, back then I remember it was the concept of spraying with blood. So you'd see like a person wearing a mink coat and you'd spray with blood over them. Or they would go into a restaurant and spray with blood on the floors. I was like, yeah, you know, but like someone has to watch that now. It's like, what are you doing? You know, some people go out and enjoy their dinner. And now you ruined it. Why? You know, like, isn't that an asshole thing to do?
By like, ha, got you, lady. And then the bikers and everybody else that you saw. But the people you're blowing it out most, actually, Anna's right, you're blowing yourself. Okay? Because when that goes up into the air, it affects that biker once. It affects you every time you do it.
Yeah, imagine how much spite that these activists have for the environmentalists if they're willing to put up with it.
Yeah.
By the way, the other way that it's dangerous is when you blow that kind of smoke into another, whether it's a biker or a car behind you, that's a pretty dangerous environment on the road. And they
Oh my god, yes. The safety is yeah, you can drive your car and someone blows smoke in your face. I mean, that never happened. You know, I never got caught in traffic and then sat behind a truck. No, that's harmful. Yes, very dangerous.
swerve and they can hit other people. They can also hit you.
So basically his argument is that causing smoke causes car crashes. Well, actually, it's not even that. It's like they could probably potentially may. I mean, sure. Okay.
It's just monumental in its idiocy.
Yeah. So, you know,
Did you think that maybe they're doing this just to get this reaction out of you? Like, unironically, I wouldn't even know about these people if it wasn't for the Young Turks. Like that is one of the way that you can promote your activism to the public. You act like a fool, and then people talk about you. And then 9 years later, they're looking back at the actor and saying, wow, this didn't age very well, did it?
Protesters have found other creative ways to show how stupid they are, right? People who are against the Obama administration and certain policies that are supposed to help people out. So let me give you an example.
I love the way they frame it. Supposed to help people out. Like, yeah, it's supposed to. That's the key word, supposed to.
Since 2007, environmental activists have campaigned for an Earth Hour, 60 minutes in which people...
Yeah, that is stupid. Like, unironically, right? Like that is stupid. It's like 60 minutes in which people turn off all the electricity. Oh, fuck off. You're not saving shit. This is virtue signaling, what we call it. It's like doing nothing while pretending to do something. Okay? So basically, because people are against virtue signaling, you're not going to consider the virtue signalers to be stupid. You're going to consider the people who are not putting up with it.
Turn off all electricity. Well, that's nice. Let's conserve some power, right?
No, it's not conserve some power. Right? It's not to conserve some power. It's to virtue signal. It's to like literally to do it so that Anna Kasparian say, oh wow, that's nice, and that's it. Like that's the moment of fame. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't. Like this is not, and not to mention like the people who turn off the power, right? Well, when they turn it back on, they plug everything back in the socket, and then they recharge the batteries and shit. And it's like it's 60 minutes, right? Like the epitome of virtue signaling. If it was like 3 days without power, then I would agree. Okay, let's go 3 days without power. I'd be like, wow, no, that 60 minutes without power, fuck off. Like, what is that? Like doing it right before you go to bed? You go to bed 60 minutes earlier? That's your environmentalist pledge for the year?
2009, the Libertarian Competitive Enterprise Institute has responded to this with Human Achievement Hour, a call to spend those same 60 minutes by keeping the lights on. Also, CEI, which gets some of its funding from the energy and food industries, has co-opted the Salvation Army's annual Donut Day as a time for patriotic civil disobedience. To participate, eat 2 donuts. And that's their response to Michelle Obama's Get Active.
Right, when she wants you to stay healthy, they're like, oh yeah, don't stay healthy.
We do live in the culture of fat acceptance now, right? Like telling people to stay healthy is actually fat phobic, I've been told. So, I don't know. I mean, unless it's COVID, I don't see the culture being really concerned about your state of health. Especially in places where you have public health care. It's like, yeah, I literally have to pay for other people being responsible. Like in Romania, if you have a person that's a chronic drinker, like he just drinks himself to death, and he gets liver cirrhosis, my taxes have to pay for his treatment. Like, how is that fair? No, seriously, like, how is this equitable? If I am living my life in a way that I avoid alcohol, and I avoid cigarettes, so that I don't get sick, but other people don't, and they get sick, and I have to pay for them. How is that normal? How is that fair? So I don't get to pay for my family. I don't get to pay for my friends and my acquaintances. I have to pay for strangers that live irresponsibly. Like, even though they're worried, even though they know. Like, I have nothing against a person drinking, but when you get sick, you pay for yourself. Like, that is fair, right? Like, you took the responsibility. You thought that you're going to drink and nothing is going to happen to you. Well, congratulations, you don't have cirrhosis. Why should I pay for it? I got the Pontiac G8, which is a muscle car. It got 256 horsepower. That's a lot of horses. But I plan to swap up the engine with 450 horsepower V8 engine, so more CO2. Oh, well, Anna Kasparian today would probably not comment very much, but the Anna Kasparian of the past would definitely be upset. Because when I buy alcohol and cigarettes, I pay extra taxes for you healthy people. Yeah, I would rather wish you didn't. I would rather wish you didn't. I think that people should be responsible for themselves, and that would encourage people to have large families, so that when they get sick, their families take care of them. It's none of my fucking... And by the way, there is charity. Like, there are things such as charity where, you know, if you don't have any family and you're alone and old, yeah, other people may be charitable to you, and they would have more money to be charitable with. It is a great argument, I know, but it's like, no one thinks this way. Even saying this way is problematic. Even framing the argument is problematic. And I'm like, well, I don't like it, that it is, but like, what can you do? having to pay for strangers is not fair. Like, unironically, it isn't. Especially people that wouldn't reciprocate. Anyway. Let's, hold on. We got 15 more minutes. I think we have time to actually finish this chat. We may actually finish a video. Here we go.
Yeah.
Become morbidly
Eat
obese.
2 donuts.
Stuff your face with donuts.
And again, you know, these are there was another segment where she was saying that fat shaming people is horrible. And it's like, okay, either you are concerned with other people's health or you aren't. Like, if someone wants to get morbidly obese, do you have arguments against it? As a libertarian? Well, not a libertarian, as a liberal, right? Like, from the Young Turks. Like, what do you have against someone that generally wants to get fat? Right? And you can say, well, it's bad for them. Alright, so, like, if you do have a person that has become fat, would you say that is bad for them, or is that fat shaming? So, like, if you say it before they become fat, it's fine. But if you say it after they become fat, then it's not fine. The logic is very flimsy, isn't it? Like, they do not have a standard. It's nice when you point it out, because despite the fact that many individuals don't understand, it's like, why do you point out hypocrisy on the left? They don't care. It's like, yeah, they don't care, but the average person does care. Like the normie. The young person that's still trying to understand the world. You have like an 18-year-old person watching this, and you point out that these people are hypocrites. That's the person you can sway. Usually, especially like teenagers, you'll notice this, like young people between the age of 16 to 18, when they start to get involved into politics, they start to watch the news a little bit more, and they're starting to form their ideology and their way of viewing things. They don't like hypocrisy at all. Because they get hypocrisy when they're at home. Usually it happens. Like, most parents do this, right? So they will say, make sure that you make your bed after you wake up, right? Clean up your room. And then the kid goes into the parents' room and the bed is messy. So they get upset. They don't, well, that's hypocritical, right? Like, why do I have to do it and they're not following the rules? And they're like tiny things like this, you know, but they add up. And like every single person experiences this in their household at one point. And when you get upset with your parents, they will say something like, well, my house, my rules. And the thing is, like, they start despising hypocrisy. So when you're, like, pointing out, like, look, these liberal people that you're looking up to, they're hypocritical as fuck. They go like, oh, well, that's concerning. You're not going to sway a person, but, like, it is a strong argument, especially for young people. The ones that haven't really made up their minds on politics yet. That are still trying to understand the world. They still believe that the United Nations is an organization that's supposed to bring peace, that was formed after World War II. They still believe that equity is actually a great thing and we should strive for it. They don't really understand most of the political concepts. So like, if you're going to be willing to ignore the hypocrisy and not point it out, they won't know it either. Because it's not easy to point it out. Like, in order for me to be able to point out the Young Turks hypocrisy, I had to watch the Young Turks for fucking years. And I do know, like, when they contradicted themselves. I do know when the arguments that they made don't fit. So you need a lot of knowledge in order to point out, like, some of these hypocritical things.
By the way, brought to you by the donut industry and the energy industry, but the competitive enterprise institute, literally funded by the energy industry, and then they say, oh, this will show up. Use up all the energy you can. Paid for by our sponsors, the energy companies. You're such suckers if you go along with this stuff. And by the way, when you have all those smokestacks,
it's kind of funny that they talk against, like, that version of, I don't know how to call it, non-woke capitalism, when now it's all about, hey, we got a pride flag, buy our stuff. It's the same product, by the way. Probably costs a little extra because we put a rainbow on the can, but buy our stuff, it's great. I think the companies are so fucking livid, chat. They're so fucking livid that July was taken away from them. Because July wasn't about Pride Month. It wasn't about the LGBT community. It was Corpo Month. Like, this is how I call it. I call the rainbow flag the Amazon flag. They would, like you had such bad practices, like companies that will literally just take like a controller for Xbox, put a rainbow flag on it, and then add another $60 to it. Like you would have like Skittles, which already had the rainbow, and they would put like something else. It's like, oh, it's LGBT buff now, $10 extra, right? And it's like the gay tax, people would call it on the internet, and there were like fucking the LGBT community that was calling it that. And that was like what companies were doing during July. Like they were milking these people dry. And now with the Anheuser-Busch and with Target, they're like, oh fuck. Oh fuck. Like maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't, but they're seething because it was like another Christmas for them. An entire month of pandering. An entire month of milking people out of their money. By not increasing the product, by not providing a better product, just like, making like a commercial and putting like a rainbow in the package, and that was that. And then having like some platitude, like some social justice platitude that everyone found cringe anyway. And that's why they're upset with what, because I do talk with a couple of people from Wall Street and they're telling me this. It's like, yeah, a lot of the companies are sad because they don't know if next year they're going to be able to pull it off. And it was like July was considered to be one of the best months. Like it was considered a very well-paid month. And
the thing that you do is you spend more money.
Yeah.
So you're spitting in other people's eye and your own eye with your own money.
yeah, it's kind of funny because now when we get tax chink with the environmentalist policies that should have been stopped back then, we're spending even more. Like now everyone is spending money. In fact, most people can't even afford those cars anymore. You have to be an outlier to afford a car like that.
Well played, well played. And there's one part of this that I do like of all the different stupid things. It's the sin tax parties. Grover Norquist Americans for Tax Reform throws a sin tax party where guests can enjoy the spirits and foods being hit by higher taxes. I don't necessarily mind the higher taxes on that stuff, but I like the idea of a sin tax party. I'm like, yeah, let's pay the taxes and then get loaded.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally why people have spite towards these types of policies, like a sin tax. And it's so fucking disgusting. The government taxes you for having fun. Like, as if the government gives a shit if you buy alcohol. Why is the government concerned? The government should be able to provide you with a military to defend yourself against foreign nation, police, so that the contracts get enforced. And other than that, provide roads and fuck off. Why does the government get concerned if some people are sinful? But anyway.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I like this guy because he used to do this. He was actually one of the first guys who did the smokestack stuff and rolling coal. Slade quotes him. I know a lot of these guys thrive on how much coal they can roll when they were down next to hybrid cars. It's just a testosterone thing. It's manhood. It's who could blow the most smoke. Who is blacker?
Well, yeah, it's manhood because in order to do it, you need to be very wealthy. And in order to be wealthy, you need to work, right? So it's considered manly to be a producer. So in order to have this car, you have to produce a lot in order to be able to afford it. I mean, probably Chegg feels very manly in having the Young Turks. And I gotta say, no matter how big the car is, no matter how much they burn the coal, they will never have a bigger carbon footprint than the Young Turks. I mean, all of that equipment, all of that gadgets, the people traveling to and back from work, the servers, like all of that produces carbon, and they're doing it fucking daily, right? So don't judge other people, Chang. Don't.
Blacker it is, the more fuel you have in your injectors. It was kind of fun, but I'll be honest with you. I decided I'd save some money. It's like throwing dollar bills out the window. I love that, like, one of the original guys is like, yeah, then I realized
This is kind of stupid.
Yeah, but like, how many of these people didn't get women for doing this, right? Because like, women do like it if you show that you have so much money to burn. And once you get the waifu, like, I'm willing to bet this is what happened in this guy's life. He managed to get a woman, probably not necessarily by burning coal or whatever. Like, he got a woman in his life, and now he doesn't have to prove that he is the macho man. Now he's like, okay, well, and this is true with most men. Like, if you look at criminals, right? Like, what is a criminal? It's a person that takes a high risk in order to do something that's socially unacceptable, right? Like he doesn't really think that much. But anyway, like, you look at most criminals, they're young people. They're young people because they need a woman to settle them down. Like, once you have like the woman and you start the family, you don't have time for any of this other shit. Then you start thinking, well, I have a family, I have a child, I shouldn't go to prison. You know, maybe I should do something productive with my life.
I was really kind of hurting myself.
That is, of course, if you haven't joined a gang, which is blood in, blood out. Then you have a big problem. Or, you know, if there's no jobs in your area. Like, there are people who want to get a job, but if there's nothing to do, then the conversation is a lot more complex. But still, like, if you look at prisons, most of the people that go to prison are young men. And that's when most people do stupid things. It's when they're young. You're not going to see, I mean, sometimes it happens, but like, you're not going to see middle-aged to elderly men burning coal and doing all this shit. Well, I guess like they can be environmentalists, blocking a road or an airport.
But it cost me a lot of money. Oops. And then it gets better. South Carolina truck owner explains why they do it.
This is the best one, okay, chat? Just stop doing what you're doing. Listen to this one. I agree with this individual. I wish I knew who he was. I wish I was the one that was able to super chat, because I would give this guy a super chat. Listen to this one.
They like to do it to smaller cars. How insecure are you? It's awesome. He says, the feeling around here is that everyone who drives a small car is a liberal. You're so awesomely dumb. Okay.
Yeah, see, this is why I like the actors back then, because even they would laugh. Even they would laugh. Like, now it would be like, Cenk would make a face of disbelief, of anger, of disappointment. You know, he'd be like, why does he think, why are we allowing him to post that online, you know? Oh, God. That is the highlight of the interview. Like, we do it to smaller cars. Being fat woman, okay. Being a fat man, nope. I mean, I did see, yeah, I probably agree with that, because I remember the very viral video when Ana Kasparian tells Alex Jones, get off the stage, you fat fuck. And I don't think she would have done it to Lizzo, now that you're saying it. Yeah, I don't think she would have done it to a woman. If Candace Owens was fat, I don't think she would have said that to her. So yes, like, being a man that's fat is not okay. You probably managed to decode the algorithm much better than I could. I'd be happy to pay tax to not a cringe government, but at the moment, most governments are cringe. Well, it's not that they're cringe, but like, I never thought that in a democracy, you would see politicians actively campaigning on the fact that they will lower your standard of living, and they're proud of it. Like, they actively say, yes, we are going to lower your standards of living. Like, if you vote for us, we're going to make your life shit. And people vote for them. And I just don't understand, like, how? How is it possible? No wonder you have conspiracy theories about elections, whether they're... But it makes absolutely no sense. You have a person coming out, yeah, so we're going to take away your gas stove. Like, we don't care how you're going to replace that. Heating your house is going to be very difficult, because we're going to add a lot of taxes. We're going to create inflation. Yeah, we're going to create inflation. Your grocery shopping is going to go up. Those farmers, we're going to fuck with them. Every single farmer we can. Well, we're going to open the borders wide. You know, we have a welfare in this place, right? And so we take taxes for welfare. We decided that we want to spend that welfare, not on you, but on the new arrival. And let's open even more borders. Let's allow as many people as possible. Vote for us. And people fucking do. And we're going to censor you. We're going to censor you online. We're going to do our best in order to make sure that when you play a video game, other companies get to listen to what you say. We're going to create an environment where big companies can harvest all your data. Everything that you do, everything that you think, everything that you believe is going to be on a record. We're going to allow that to happen. Because my private company can do whatever it wants with the guide of the government, of course. And people vote for that shit. And I am astonished, like, how? At least lie to people. At least say, yeah, we're not going to do inflation, but once you get into office, you do it, you know? I would understand that. But, like, they're not even lying. They're like, yeah, your taxes, we're going to fuck with them. Like, you're going to pay taxes like you never thought you can pay before. It is what it is, I guess. It's so fucking bizarre. I can't explain it. I think we should end it here. So what day is it today? Today is Wednesday, right? Tomorrow is Dungeons and Dragons, I think. Yeah, it is. And the day after tomorrow, I will be on the Archcast. And now I'm going to make some videos for my main channel and secondary channel. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. Oh, fuck. Okay, my bad. I almost forgot. Like, this is the thing that started it all. I forgot to watch the video. The most cringe thing that I ever seen in my life. And when I saw it, I said, dude, this thing is going to age so badly that when I'm going to play it in a couple of years, no one is going to actually believe that this happened. Right? So unless you lived it, it's going to be very difficult to believe it. So luckily it's just 1 minute. But here we go.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined.
Didn't he quarantine them?
We'll wear our masks and we'll have to stay distant.
Like, I just want you to realize that this charming fellow had to prepare for this, right? Like, he had to write the lyrics. He then had to print all of these. He had to come up with the concept. He had to come up, like, coming up with the concept is probably the most difficult thing in this video. Like, thinking, you know what? I'm going to go in front of a press conference, like a podium with 10 microphones, and another reporter with a microphone in my hand, in his hand, pointing it at me. And I'm going to have to sing this ridiculous fucking song while wearing a suit and a tie. Sorry, not a suit. While wearing a shirt and a tie. And he had to print them out, right? Like, he had to use these emojis, and then he had to make the colors. I bet he was quite proud of himself. Like, I bet when he did it, you know, like, I bet that he was very nervous the day before. Probably didn't sleep that night. He was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm going to sing this song. I wonder where he is now. I wonder what he is doing now. Like, maybe some marketing team, like at a board meeting or something, huh?
We'll wash our hands and we'll be more resistant. Fauci, yes? Promise us, please. We'll have a cure that can fight off this disease.
The problem is that he has to hold the song while being nervous and swapping these images.
These restrictions will lift with some ease.
But they didn't, did they? The restrictions never lifted. See, the song should have been dedicated to Putin. Like Putin managed to lift the restrictions. But not Fauci, unfortunately.
Dr. Fauci, don't forget me.
Oh, he didn't forget you. No. He didn't. Like, he knew you had to stay home and stay safe. Look at him. Look, he's shaking. Look at his hand. Look at his hand.
Me.
Look. Oh my god. Oh.
I'm convinced George Floyd's not the only one on.
I do not know who this individual is, but I thank him for recording that. He's a rapper now? I don't know. I don't know. The emoji, glass emoji, yes. Oh god. Afuera. Afuera. Anyway, right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.